I often say that Web3 is really different and than Web2. And one of the ways you can tell is that you don't have to have some specific website. And I create sort of my own examples of this, but yet you probably say, but that's your website. Or it's an IPFS special website, so you still have to have a website. And so this example, I think, is even simpler, and to try to illustrate this point. And if you consider yourself to be sort of a hacker or somebody that likes to play around with stuff, you don't need, all you need is a web browser, and of course, a little lava lamp. No, you don't need the lava lamp part. All you need is the web browser, and you can get to a point, and I'm going to show you how to get there, to a point where you have a lot of control, okay? Now, one thing that I do is in my head, memorized a, I've memorized my 12 words because it's a sentence. It kind of makes sense. So when I say my 12 words, I'm talking about a key for MetaMask or whatever, but you don't even need MetaMask for the key. Well, I'm not going to go into all of that, but I'm going to get you to the point where you have the basic driver and you have a web tool that you can look at, okay? And I start here on Polygon Scan. That's what you see here. I have this loaded up, right? That's a website you can go to. I'm not signed in. You don't have to have an ID. You don't have to have anything. Okay, and I'm going to type in a search, a very special search, and I bet you can remember this. If you think about it for a little while and maybe practice it, you could remember this, okay? The address is 0x. They all start with 0x, so that part is easy. And then the rest, you just type ones. Type a couple ones, you see, and it's come up right here, and it's offering you this. Now, if it didn't do that, you could still figure it out. I believe it's 40 of these ones in a row, okay? So, and I call this an anchor because you can, it's sort of like a title page, right? If you think about the table of contents of a book, might be on page one, okay? Well, if you think about this, this is similar. And again, you have to work with this stuff. You have to play with this stuff and fiddle with this stuff, and then it makes more sense. If all you ever do is read books about things or write books about things, then I don't think you quite get it. Okay, so now we're here at this address, and this shows everything that has been sent to this address. By the way, this is, I believe it, you see it calls it a null address here. It's to say that uh, any money sent to this is destroyed because it's not, it doesn't have a key to get the stuff back out. But by giving up that key, what you get in return is a very easy, very memorable address, right? See, I just typed it in and it brought it up. Now, there's, you come down here, there's two different kinds of transactions. There's a regular transaction, let's say, and an internal transaction. A regular transaction would be if you had your wallet and you typed in, I want to send to Ethereum or whatever, and don't do that, to this address, 1111. If you did that, like right here from MetaMask or wherever, that would be a transaction. But this internal transaction is here, so you got to click on it, right? Tricky stuff, tricky hacker stuff, but you can do it. You can do it. You can follow these steps, and I highly, highly recommend that you do this because everything will click. If I gotta snap with this finger, I guess everything will click only after you just go through these motions, and you don't need anything. You don't need anything to do this, okay? Now we're going to see here that we have some internal transactions. One was sent 22 minutes ago. You want to guess who sent that? That's right. That's right. It was me. And the rest you can ignore. They're older. Um, and you know, even if other people send stuff to this address, the grand total of things, it looks like there have been six transactions, six transactions in the last 3 years or so, right? So it's not going to be hard to find something sent to this address. But what I have sent, like I say, is your key, your starting, and it's actually a little bit of code. So if we click on here, right? This is fun, right? Now you can come down and you want to show more, okay? The devil's in the details, right? And so you show more, and then you uh, either one of these, I think decode or view as. So click on one of them, and it's going to think about it for a second. There you go. And you see there's two parts. One of them is talking to you, and again, there's that address at the bottom, by the way. One of them is talking to you, and one of them is a hunk of code, right? The one that's talking to you is telling you, and it may not be super clear, but it's telling you to highlight this. Highlight that code and copy it, okay? So just that blob of stuff that's in this transaction, it's sent to address all ones, 11111. See how easy I found it? And I didn't have any I mean I could be, thrown into a dumped out on the highway somewhere with no thing, and if I could get to a computer, I could go to Polygon Scan and find this and begin to rebuild this Web3 world, to get back into this. Like, and part of it is, again, because I've memorized my key, which you don't have to do, although I think that would be interesting. Now I'm going to go to, what this says is just go to really some other website. So I have picked this website. I did a search for TikTok, thinking that would be fun, and of course it wasn't the TikTok. It was this Kesha video on YouTube. Okay, so any website, here is a website. And then what you want to do is, let's see, right click and go down to inspect. Okay, this is super secret hacker stuff, I know. So we're going to inspect, and there we go. Okay, and you want to go to a place called the console. The console right here. And let's see if we're there. There's a lot of stuff here, but if you go to the bottom, you should find a place. Let's do it this way. Come up here and click on console, right? And you get to where you can type something in. Hopefully, it's always the parts of these videos that seem the easiest that end up being the hardest, right? So normally you have this thing that shows up, which is called the console. You click there, and then all of this goes away, and you see the console. It's gonna make me have to re-record this. Outsmarted by Kesha. Okay, there we go. Somehow, I don't know why that took so long, but I'm looking at a website I don't even own or have anything to do. I'm looking at a YouTube website, right? But I finally get to the console where I can type stuff in, right? So like if you type this in, this little command. By the way, this is a great way to learn stuff. You type that in, see it pops up an alert message, right? So now you type in all that stuff that you paste in all that stuff from before, and hopefully, boom, cache goes away, and you have this tool now. Okay, so I'm not gonna explain exactly how you use ethers, but just understand that now I'm well on my way to getting back to my Web3 world, because I have two things. I have this JavaScript command, and then I also now have found my contract that I put all sorts of stuff in. So not only did this little exercise lead me to that snippet of code to bring up ethers, but I can click here and I have a contract to interact with that has even more code in it, right? And I can do things like I can find words, and by going back and forth, I can pull up my graphical interface, or not, or the interface that I've built. And this is all very experimental, very different, and you can participate. You can do this. You can be a part of this. All right. Anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. All right. Thanks.